So in terms of setup, obviously the outside one was the one we did before and so on, but you can see the setup. There's a little bit more kind of tilt to your right side now. Your shoulders are a little bit more kind of this way, as you'd want to be. I mean, your right hand is lower than your left hand, so therefore your right shoulder should be lower than your left shoulder, okay?
Yeah.
But what we're looking at now in terms of the movement, just watching your head kind of move around this swing, okay? So there's your head at setup in both these swings. This one here now as the club kind of goes back, it moves already, and then moves this way, then it goes up, and then when you come back down to impact now, you can see there's your impact, your head now is barely in that circle, and then stays underneath that circle all the way after the shot, and then through the other side, on the other side of the circle, right at the top. So if we look at impact there, that's your impact. Now the fact your head's dropped probably a good few inches, your arms have had to adjust to that. Okay. Now this is on the way back as we go back here. Okay, so that little bit of slide as we can see there. Okay. Slight rising up there as you've gone back, but I think you trying to keep your width by getting your arms up high. You've moved your head up a bit higher. Okay. But the key thing is you come back to the golf ball. You can see there's a bit of a shift there with your hips nicely. Okay. Look at your head height there now. It's not dropping into the golf ball quite so much, and there's your impact. You're now in the circle where you started. Okay, you've come back to a really good kind of extended line there, impact, and now you can rotate through, and you kind of finish then just outside the other side. And again, a good finished position in terms of right side movement and the balance. Okay, whereas this, I mean, that looks awkward way down there. Look at that foot, look at that foot. That foot's starting to move there up onto its toes. So you're starting to get a bit of movement. The knees are starting to come a bit more together because you're moving your lower half in this direction. You're not moving your shoulders and your top up to try and lump it. You're keeping your top half behind the ball, let your arm speed get the distance. And the shift of weight now through the lower half. So overall, as we said, we're trying to maintain, for consistency, a circle around the golf, okay? And your head, so imagine on the explainer, there's one point, okay? The club's down there, and that club's going to just swing around the golf club, around the body, like so. If you were to take your head and drop it down here, your hands are going to then start doing this to compensate. Okay, they're going to start rising up, bending the arm. Now, as we said at the start, whether it's sort of the head dropped down, the arms came in, or the head dropped in, whatever came first,
all of them.
They all get one little thing. There you go. Okay, but if we can just focus on keeping that height, get those arms as high away from the body as you can. That for me is a much better backswing position from what you were, because your hands now are just further away from your sort of head where they were, rather than sort of collapsed position. So you maintain that width in the swing, trying to keep that right arm, you're holding a tread there nice and high there with the right arm. Maybe with the shoulder getting a little bit twingy, possibly could have caused that protective swing. I've had enough injuries, more than I can care to think about, to be fair, mate. So I know when I've had an injury, when you come back, it's human nature to protect yourself against that. You're going to go a bit like, you don't want to do too much, so you will find a way to mask it or hold on to it or where it may be.
But a little bit is, subconsciously as well. You do it without.
Of course, you just do it exactly. And I think a lot of times people may have said things or heard things, and sometimes people read or watch videos or get told things, and sort of little segments of these things get put in, and half and half get used, and they're not really sort of creating much of a consistent move. But from there, the key thing is now you can see a shift of your lower half, looking at sort of where we're looking at a finish line there. If that's the wall there we're swinging up against, your belt buckle now is moving into that wall nicely and coming back to impact there. Really good impact position. Hence why that went 125 yards at least. And then twisting through into a much more kind of balanced control position there. You're moving onto your right to your left side, okay? There's more rotation this way, and this way, okay? So stable head, keeping more centred, keeping that width with the arms, okay? And once the head stays high and the arms stay high, the club comes back to ball position. If you drop, you've got to bend. If you bend, you've got to drop. Okay? And that just relies on too much time. When it's good, it's brilliant. When it's bad, it's sort of what you're going to get. Okay, mate, make sense? Good man.